This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Opposition members are taking the government to task over operations at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation.
F&M members held a press conference on the grounds of BEC's headquarters this morning, calling for government to be transparent in regards to privatization.
The government announced last year plans to make BEC two companies, one to generate electricity, which will be privately operated, and one to distribute and manage. Former minister with responsibility of BEC, Fenton Nemore, charged that the sale of BEC's power generation should not be offered to one entity.
Why can't we use the already established formula that the F&M put in place at the Water and Sewage Corporation? We now have private entities producing water for water and sewage. But we do it because we have broken down the country into geographic zones. We can do the same thing, break up the pie, and allow for Bahamian participation and Bahamian ownership.
But Chairman Leslie Miller contends that any decision regarding ownership will be made by the Prime Minister. Nemore noted that under the former administration, headway was already made towards energy reform.
You cannot put in a solar power without getting the approval of either BEC, or you have to go directly to the minister responsible for BEC. We should not allow that any further.
Nemore also questioned the financial stability of BEC and noted that when they left office, the company was breaking even.
What they forget to tell you is that a few months before the general election, they made a decision that Bahamians could pay their bill over a 3-year period. Even if you have a bill that is $1,000, it gives you 3 years to pay the bill. You know what situation that put BEC in when BEC could not collect his bill on a timely basis.
Miller added that decisions should now be made toward alternative forms of energy.
Accounts receivable right now is about $187 million. $30 million of that is government, the rest is the private sector. We are having severe situation now and trying to collect our funds. And that's part of the problem. But that's part of the problem is because Bahamians are unable to pay the damn high electricity bill. Nobody could afford it. And the only way to bring the bill down is to get new engines at Clifton, and within a short period of time, we're right to LNG. It's simple.
Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
The Bahamas Electricity Corporation says it will, on Monday of next week, begin the disconnection of supply for consumers whose accounts are in arrears. The corporation released a statement today explaining that consumers who have been disconnected should contact the Credit and Collections Department to make payment arrangements. Residential consumers with overdue accounts will be allowed to pay 50% of outstanding arrears and pay the remaining balance over a period of 6 months. Meantime, BEC Chairman Leslie Miller says he does not support that decision, which was made by BEC's management, as it goes against his position, which is to ensure that Bahamians have electricity.
I was reluctant to do that, as you know, because I stopped that. The first thing they did was stop that, because we thought it was unfair. However, what they have put in place is that, in fact, BEC offices will be open. I still don't agree with it. I may have to revisit that between now and Friday, and probably put a stop to it. We just have to say I have to call a few of the board members.
That doesn't guarantee that you pay on Saturday that it's going to be turned off?
Well, they are telling us that they can guarantee it. I don't quite believe that. Because when people pay through the week, I'm talking about management, when people pay through the week, in many cases, they don't be turned back on right away. Sometimes it takes 2 and 3 days, which is wrong. You know, if I paid my bill, I expect my light to be on when I get home. That does not happen.
You're not supporting this?
No, I have not supported it fully. And I told them the board has grave reservations about it. Because it's unfair for you to pay your bill and your light is not turned on.
Now, Mr. Miller admitted that BEC is in grave financial straits and money is desperately needed in order for the corporation to remain current with its financial commitments.
But because we cannot now pay our bills on time, especially our fuel bill, which now amounts to about $120 million, is what we owe now on fuel. We have to now put the pressure and put the squeeze on the consumer to help us to pay our bills. I don't like it. I'm against it. But when you have $187 million on account receivable, you shouldn't have a problem collecting about $50 million of that.
Police have launched an island-wide manhunt for 2 men following a shooting incident that has left a paralyzed man dead and another man in hospital. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Rolls, says at midnight, the victims were sitting in a car with a female friend at a home on Sandra Drive, Sunset Park, when two men armed with handguns emerged from nearby bushes and shot at them. Rolls says the driver of that vehicle was shot in the leg as he tried to get away from the gunman, who soon after returned to the vehicle and shot the paralyzed passenger in the chest. He died in hospital. The driver is detained in stable condition. The suspects are described as dark males who wore white t-shirts and dark pants. Police need your help finding them. If you have any information, you are asked to contact police as soon as possible at 328-TIPS or 919. Well, a local web shop, or as we await legislation, that is, Bahamians, for them to legally gamble, industry insiders have taken the preemptive step of instating Know Your Customer rules. It's a policy financial institutions have been mandated to follow by the central bank. And with the implementation of regulatory practices, gaming operators say new ATM cards will be issued to allow them to better track customer transactions. Fern Carey has the details.
With 100,000 residents reportedly engaging in web shop gaming on a daily basis, a leading provider of online gaming, Island Luck, has implemented a new card system called Know Your Customer, or KYC. It is designed to deepen the knowledge of its client base while providing a wide range of benefits. Island Luck co-owner Sebastian Bastian.
This new card is a rewards program where players will be allowed to earn points, win or lose. Once you're playing, you accumulate points that can be redeemed for trips, electronics, items, gaming credit, you name it.
Asked about the call for the proposed gaming legislation to allow for Bahamians to gamble in land-based casinos, Bastian said,
I do think that it's time to end the discrimination of that aspect of it, providing that the economical discrimination is also ended simultaneously. And what I mean by that is, I don't support Bahamians gambling in casinos if the casinos are going to be owned by foreigners exclusively. Today or tomorrow, if the government says we're going to give Bahamians, it doesn't even have to be me, any Bahamian, a casino license, I support 100% Bahamians going into that casino. We have to keep our money at home, and that's the only way we could keep our country going.
Meantime, the web boss is advising Bahamians to diversify their investments in order to expand their financial base.
But it's time to think outside of the box. I'd like to encourage a lot of Bahamians to visit trade shows. There's a trade show in China, the Canton Fair, that happens twice a year. That will open your eyes up to, opportunities beyond your wildest imaginations. There's so many manufacturing machineries and products that you can bring to the Bahamas and provide a niche market that is in high demand here in the Bahamas. And pool your resources. No one man is an army. As powerful as I am, without my team, I'm nothing. So,
Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
The opening ceremony for the 20th Commonwealth Games took place earlier today in Glasgow, Scotland. We've got more coming up in ZNS Total Sports.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.